Now looking back in retrospect, every single person that's been in my life for that period of time, I needed that at that period, and they needed that. We both mutually needed each other at that point in time. And it really changes your kind of perspective on, you know, people. I think you need certain energies at certain times. I think people do teach you lessons. It's kind of that kind of ideology of everything kind of happens for a reason. And letting things also flow in your life, not being married to, you know, a certain version even of yourself, let alone other people. Everyone's growing every single day.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Rico Hundo here at 8 at the Table, and we got a lovely guest today. But before we jump into that, I gotta shout y'all out. Thank you for the love, likes, subscribes, all the comments, the feedback. We appreciate it. Keep doing it. We are going to keep on keeping on for y'all. Now let's jump into our guest. We have Aiyana-Lee from the London Babes. I can't get it right, but she's gonna correct me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, it was supposed to be London Babes. Well, no,
I'm
we'll
gonna stop.
Work on it, child. We'll work on it. I'm Aiyana-Lee. I am a singer-songwriter from London. I'm excited to be here. This is like my second day. You know, I was in New York, just got in. It's my first time here in this cold place. It's giving very much London. It's giving very much cold, freezing. But I'm excited to be here. There's a vibe. So.
Yeah, well, thank you for popping out.
Thanks for having me. And also, I'm not a douchebag. I promise. I just have an eye allergy. So. Yes.
She's allergic to the cold.
Yes,
That's what's happening. So we have so here at 8 at the Table, we love to talk about and dive in and peel back layers on a lot of different things and topics, taboo topics that go on.
Ooh.
But you actually have something that is, you know, you've been working on a project.
Okay.
Go
have
ahead.
I? I'm kidding.
No, yes, you do, right?
Yes, I have a whole project. It came out like a month ago. I'm so excited. It's called Wednesday's Child Side A, which, you know, it's a little bit to be continued vibes.
A little bit to be continued.
I love chapters to things, so it's super exciting. But yeah, this is called Wednesday's Child Side A. The whole project, it's a deep dive on kind of my experiences, especially kind of focusing in on the last 5 years of my life, which has kind of been, you know, being broke in a city full of rich kids, you know, talking about, you know, the struggles I kind of went through moving from London to Los Angeles and not having a dime to my name, and my mom struggling and being a single mom and having to eat canned foods and losing our house in England and all this kind of stuff. And then, you know, we have the single like Gangster of Love that talks really on being, you know, not necessarily a victim to love, but really dominating the situation and being in control, even though you are in love with a person.
Let's actually dive into that. Let's dive into that's perfect for this.
I'm revved up.
So, all right, so gangster love. Can you explain again what like gangster love is? When you mean by dominate?
Oh yeah,
I'm ready to fire off. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my God,
I need to know
really?
what you're talking about first.
Okay, I'm excited. No, I love hearing other people's perspectives, so this is gonna be interesting. But Gangster of Love, yes, the whole song very much is just taking the narrative of, you know, again, I thought there were so many love songs that were helplessly devoted, like in love, submissive, and in this, it's very much being self-aware, aware of the situation, not losing yourself in a relationship, because I feel like so often we kind of forget who we are in that relationship and kind of take the personality of whoever we're with.
Yeah,
but it's just also setting boundaries in that relationship. You can have your space, you can have your time. There are things that, you know, you can set down ground rules and, you know, what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with.
Was there like a specific situation or experience that you might have been dealing with that inspired that song?
I think it was just a general thing of what I had kind of witnessed and seen just in general, and I had kind of, because I've never really been in a serious relationship before. It's never happened. Yeah, no? I've never had like a proper boyfriend. I had like a little situationship, and that's all that really happened. Even though I have been on dates, child, and they're in the city of Los Angeles.
It doesn't work that way.
Ooh, babe, no. But also like I've also been so focused on my career, but as someone who's so focused on their career and so married to my craft and my passion passions and aspirations, I really, when it comes to that kind of side of my life, I like to have it add, you know what I mean? And not
Like
be
a plus,
something like
yeah.
like a lot of people are in relationships to fill this hole, right? Or to like jump from one thing to another, or keep them distracted, or, you know, there's, you know, relationships can kind of be a coping mechanism and also a form of escapism. So I feel like that's not the right reason to get into a relationship.
I would agree. I would agree 100% on that.
What's turning you? What's turning you?
Because
I see it in your eyes.
yeah, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
You know it's coming.
Scared,
It's
man.
starting to twinkle.
Okay, okay.
Because what happens is, like, see, my thing is this, right? I'm gonna paint a picture for you. Let me give you 7 years down the line.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give it to you with me wishing you the best, right?
Okay.
7 years down the line. I don't know how old you are. Let me actually go, however long it's gonna take for you to go to 35.
Okay.
However many years that is. Well, I'm not even gonna disclose that number. A while. It's a while. It's a long time.
Long time, babes. But
So
yeah.
let's just say you have no experience being in a relationship because you're so married to something, right? And then all this time passes by, and now it's like at the time where you want to share, you know, the fruits of your labor with somebody.
Right.
It might be hard to trust somebody because the industry that you're in, the payoff will be big, immenseful. And how you're gonna be able to decipher who's there for you and not there for what you have or there for what you are.
I don't care.
Damn.
How's that another
Shit.
perspective? I don't care because guess what? Like in my situation, first of all, I have such a great relationship with, first of all, myself, which
Yeah.
I think is just the most important, pivotal relationship of your life. People
Facts.
really do come and go. And I think we're so married to this idea of forever, or this idea of there has to be someone you share everything with, which for me, that's my mom. I'm gonna be honest. Like, she's really my partner in crime. We share every experience, every memory. She's really my other half. If there was to be an other half, she would be my soulmate. She'd be my everything. But really and truly, like, you know, having this kind of question. I mean, I already question people in my life and friends and people in my circle of why are you here? But at the same time, I'm not going to isolate myself completely, or I just have like I definitely have a barrier of trust for sure, where I'm like, okay, I trust this person this much and this person this much, but I never truly completely leave my complete, you know, house open. You know what I mean?
But I think it's important to have people come into the house and stay a while. You have to be used to company in this analogy. Because what ends up happening is, like, for example, you build with others, right? And
for
in other
sure.
aspects, right? You
1,000%.
need others to build, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if I'm a producer, and I'm just using analogies. If I'm a producer and you're a singer, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, let's build. I could be dope at making beats. You could be dope at writing music and singing songs, right? But once I start to grasp and gauge how you are, and you grasp and gauge how I am, and then our chemistry builds together, we can get to a plateau that's higher than if you try to do it by yourself.
Oh, I don't think you have to do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I think you do need people, but I just think each person comes in your life at the right time for that time, however long that may be.
Okay.
And I think it's sometimes we obsess over kind of the idea of having these, you know, holding on to toxic relationships just because you want it to be there.
But are you open-minded to it?
Oh, I'm always open to friendships, relationships, people. I'm never closed off to
All right, so let's talk about your
experience.
situationship, gangster of love.
Child.
I'm a gangster of real life.
Okay.
No, I'm
No,
kidding.
what the fuck?
I'm messing around. I'm messing around.
Okay. I'm like,
So,
okay,
like,
elaborate.
all right, so your situationship, right?
Yeah.
What ended up happening, we don't have to dive too far into it.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening that prevented it from it being something serious, or your first real serious relationship versus, you know, just a situationship?
So many reasons. Just a lot of toxic behavior from, I think the biggest thing was at first not even wanting to claim that I'm in that situation, which is the biggest red flag. Then, anytime I would get an opportunity, they would be very, jealous and hateful. When you're a strong woman, guys want to tear that shit up and tear it down and break every rule and every boundary. Red flag.
See, my
man.
teeth are coming out.
It's the dreads and it's the fade with the dreads.
It's the fade
and
with
the
chain. I'm a red flag.
You are a walking, talking red flag, my guy. Combined with that, yeah, that's what really does it. I think that's what really does it, actually. Yeah.
But like, so what are some of your boundaries?
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Everything. You know what? Just respect. Respect is like number one for me, I think. Respect for me, my craft, my time, my energy. So important. What else? Just you know, giving me space as well.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. I'm someone who really likes to keep to themselves a lot of the time, and you know, I don't know. I like to read books at night, cuddle with myself,
and chill.
You know, and chill. Yeah.
Is somebody liking and commenting on other people's posts not respecting your boundaries?
Liking comments. See, I don't know about that. I haven't really entered that world.
What if your man sends not your man, but your situationship?
Yeah.
Sends a eggplant emoji on some girl in LA, which is there's so many.
It depends if it's exclusive or non-exclusive. If it's exclusive, then what is we doing? I mean, look, if
what are we doing?
Exclusive, it's like, what is going on, babes? But if it's non-exclusive, if no one really like clarify, that's why I say always clarify what the situation is. If you want to sex someone up, child, you tell them that's all you want to do. If you want more than that, let them know. If you want to date, let them know. But you've got to just, I feel like being clear with people is so important. So I like to let everybody know what's going on, what the situationship is. And I'm open to so many different things, because really and truly I hadn't even gotten into that whole world until like a few months ago, honest to God. Like, I didn't even mess around, child. I was so focused. So I never even dipped my toe into that world, because also it's just time. It's very time consuming, and I think it comes naturally in your life when it's meant to.
I think that it's you know, it's so funny because like sometimes I would get into situations just to spark my creativity.
Ooh, it's another red flag. I have a friend like no. I have a friend like this who has to have their heart broken to write the record.
Oh, I can't do that.
And will purposely put themselves in heartbreaking situations. I'm talking flying to see a guy and just get heartbroken. But the songs end up really
fire,
great.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, like this is toxic as hell. But low-key, the songs are fire, but the mental it's not good. Yeah.
But like I think that like, you know, life is experiences, right? And so is music. So like as you experience, see, you're fortunate enough to be wise enough to witness others' experiences and be like, I know what not to do, but I feel how you feel, so I can definitely align and write about it and create on it. So it's a great thing. It's a blessing, but a lot of people, they want to learn the hard way. Like they have to suffer the heartbreak.
It's true.
You know?
It's trial and error at the end of the day with anything in life. I think you have to just, you know, if that's what you want, I mean, manifest it. It's gonna come. It's coming in your life, child. And also, like, there's other things to life. Life is so beautiful. I don't get why, you know, I mean, look, trust me, I am the biggest romance lover. I am a hopeless romantic completely. Like, I've read every romantic fantasy novel. It got my standards so high that it actually almost messed me up, actually, because it just, you know, sometimes the expectations are really unrealistic. Yeah. And that's the thing. Also, learning what realistic, healthy relationships look like in reality is very different than how it's portrayed in movies and books. So already you have a society that's kind of teaching you what romance looks like when it's something people have to work on. Like, it's not just a crazy experience. Like, you have to work on that continuously and keep that afloat and have it be healthy, and both people be able to have their own separate lives and mental health in check. So again, I think society's kind of portrayals on what romance is kind of, it hinders almost our openness. It cripples it, yeah.
It cripples you for sure, because it puts a false narrative, like you said, it puts a false narrative on what you think is realistic. And Here at 8 at the Table, this is what we like to do. We like to talk about that. We like to talk about, you know, the taboo topics and the realism of it, and we try to keep it real with no judgment, as you can see with our sign.
I love it. Oh my God, wait, I'm only seeing this now. Okay, I love this so much. Okay, I need to steal this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for
Yeah.
anybody that does like this, we do have it on our website. You can feel free to purchase it.
Oh my God, that was the most incredible ad.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Oh, I did
Teamwork made the dream work.
I did a great. Yeah, damn. I get 1%. I'll be calling you. My people will call you. People.
I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it.
Is that water?
No, it's not water.
Okay, got it.
Here at 8 at the Table, we don't drink water.
I was gonna say, what's going on? I was like, it's a little too small to be water. There's something going on.
Nah, yeah.
This
So,
is a little fishy.
but all right, my last thing that I want to definitely tackle on this, right?
Oh, not the tackling. Okay.
Because you know what it is, I admire a lot that you said, and I agree a lot with what you said. And you know what's the funny thing? You remind me a lot of me. Like, honestly,
it's like staring
you
in the mirror.
might be a walking red flag too.
Oh, what? Okay, it's the hair. My hair is a red flag.
It's there.
A pixie cut.
And,
Don't trust nobody with a pixie cut, child. They're brave.
Those are confident. But
yeah, for sure.
Because I understand when you're so focused on getting to where you want to go to in life, especially when you're tackling something that most people want to do and most people fail at, right?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
It requires a certain level of discipline and dedication.
Yeah.
Right? I get it. Trust me, 100%. And the one thing that I would say is that if you have the right partner, it'll help make everything easier.
I don't like that notion.
No?
You know why I don't like that notion? Because I think the only person who can make it easier is yourself. I think giving or placing the cards in anyone else's hands is dangerous. I think it's dangerous to place your cards in anyone's hands because it's fleeting. It's again the most solid relationship you will ever have is with yourself.
Facts.
And you shouldn't give that away to anyone, whether that's your friend
but
or
you give it away anyways. You give it away to other people that you deem credible.
In what sense would you say?
In all other aspects of the world or the life.
Well, I think not necessarily. I think you can be open, right? You can be open and sharing and all of that and still not place the power of your happiness. I think that's what it is.
Whoa. We control our happiness. Right?
Yes, 1,000%.
I'm with you on that. Never do that. Never give away that control. Yeah.
And also, like, just making things easier, I think you really have the ability to change your entire life. I really went from being a kid in London, dreaming about Hollywood, to being able to be there
and walk around like
touch it. It's insane, and then manifest so many blessings in my life. I am so grateful because I know there's so many people who honestly just don't get the opportunity and the chance. And so I'm grateful for every minute that I have. But that's why I don't want to waste it on anything that isn't adding to my life. And I think relationships are just that, like lessons, walking and talking lessons and things that you can really learn from your partner. That's why I like, when I do get into even situationships or even just talking to people, I love seeing different perspectives on just life itself. Like, that's why I love actors. Shout out to actors. Oh, all the actors watching this, like, what is going on? But no, I love actors so much just because they've almost like reading and going through scripts and all that stuff. It's just like living different lives, and there's so much knowledge in that. So I love actors, creatives in general. Again, I would be open even to someone in business or whatever it may be, because I think there's something you can learn from everybody, and it's just a different perspective that you bring to your life.
You mentioned at one point that people come and go, and you also mentioned that you don't believe in lifetime or forever love, right? What do you actually like? What triggered those thoughts, or what? I don't want to say triggered. Let's actually use a different word. What actually helped you develop those ideologies on life? Because I actually agree. I think it's very true. People do come and go.
Yeah. I think just from experience in my life, I've lived such a full life already in just, the aspects of, the industry, which I think it's the it's a crazy place to be growing up for sure, and having people come and go, and it's such a, you know, a town, a city, you know, like Los Angeles, where people are coming and going, and so many people are using people to get to the top, and there's all this trampling and competition and all that. It's a toxic environment, but in that environment, I kind of just learned very quickly that, you know, you can have fun with people and then not know them a month later. And I'm someone who, you know, I love fantasizing about, oh my God, I love this friend of mine. I hope we fucking, you know, we effing, you know, we go and live until we're 80 and like, you know, share these beautiful life experiences and memories. But I kind of learned that, you know, now looking back in retrospect, every single person that's been in my life for that period of time, I needed that at that period, and they needed that. We both mutually needed each other at that point in time. And it really changes your kind of perspective on, you know, people. I think you need certain energies at certain times. I think people do teach you lessons. It's kind of that kind of ideology of everything kind of happens for a reason. And letting things also flow in your life, not being married to, you know, a certain version even of yourself, let alone other people. Everyone's growing every single day. I like to say, and I said this morning, it was like, you know, tomorrow I might be a completely updated new version of myself, and I have to fall in love with myself all over again. Like every day I have to carry myself, and even though I'm not the same person I was yesterday, but I still love myself yesterday, and I'm still gonna love myself tomorrow, whoever that may be, being confident in that moment of whoever you are in that moment, but knowing that you are constantly changing. That's the big thing in life. The one guarantee is that everything is going to change.
So how is it? So I lived in LA.
Yeah.
I lived in LA. I've been to LA. I even lived bi-coastal where I lived in LA and New Jersey.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
First of all, me personally, I would never live in LA.
Oh really?
I would never live. It's a place to have fun. It's a place to do business. For me. My opinion.
Totally.
So, which brings me to, and I'm just bringing my personal experiences and then asking you this question with my personal experiences. Do you feel as if maybe, because I believe that people do come and go. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I don't believe that people come and go so frequently. And in LA, it does.
In LA, yeah.
I lived there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've experienced. I know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, do you feel like you might have a different outlook on life depending on where you're actually, you know, living and where you're actually surrounding yourself with?
Well, I mean, I did live in London for like 15 years, my first 15 years of my life, and I kind of saw the same thing. I think, you know, whether it's a short period or long period, it's still a period in your life. You know, and I think it's more so like, look, if it does happen for a lifetime, that's incredible, right? But just being present in that moment and enjoying what you have now is all you can do. I think just we're so obsessed with the future of am I going to be with this person forever? What's going to happen tomorrow? The whole planet could just be destroyed tomorrow. You don't know.
Yep.
But I think, you know, so many people say live in the present, and I feel like we all are like, okay, yeah, sure, child. Like we don't care, right? But I really learned you actually have to, there is no other moment but now. And I kind of saw a different perspective of like, the future's kind of coming towards you. You're not like running towards the future. And the same with the past. The past literally doesn't exist.
Past, yeah.
It's the only place the past exists is in your mind. So I think holding on again, so many people hold on to relationships and just people in general just because of, oh my God, I went through this trauma with this person, or which is trauma bonding, or I went through, you know, these memories, we shared these memories. But I think sometimes you close yourself off to new experiences by being married to someone that you don't no longer connect with.
Yeah.
I think as long as the connection's there, hey, if that lasts 5 years, 70 years, 100 years.
I'm not gonna.
Go for
I'm
it.
not. No, I don't condone that. I was with you. You lost me on that, and that's what I think is because that's one of the main issues.
What's the issue?
See, living momentarily is cool, and actually, it is definitely conducive to the future. right? Whatever you do right now can shapeshift and alter, negative or positive.
Yeah.
But when you live too presently, and there is, like, this is the oldest saying, I didn't make this up.
Yeah.
Too much of anything is bad.
Oh, it has to be a
Right?
balance. Yeah, for sure.
So, like, too presently and, you know, enjoying the moment and the lifestyle will actually hinder all of what you could truly want later. You could not want something right now, right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's cool.
Right.
I'm not saying go get it,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I ain't saying to go live it. But when you're too in the mix, something that you have an idea of later, you can actually ruin or make it a lot harder to go get that later on. Like, you know, it's like if I want...
Give me an example.
I'll give you an example. Let's say if I want to be a professional basketball player. This is a reach, right?
Not the reach.
Right, it's a reach.
I mean, 5'10", we might both be...
I'm gonna just stick to football, right? So let's say if I wanted to be a professional basketball player, right? And I'm working hard every day.
Yeah.
I'm working hard every day. But I love presently all the experience of being the top athlete in my school. In my school, I'm not in the pros. And living presently, I'm enjoying all of these moments. So all these women. Something happens with these women.
Okay.
Negative. There's a laundry list of what could possibly happens. And now me going there and getting to that final destination is now hindered. You know what I'm saying?
So see, what I mean is more so like living in the present of whatever you're doing. So for example, for me, it's not like you do everything you love every day, right? There's some things there's some things you're not going to enjoy to get where you need to go.
The journey,
right? And there are a lot of hardships in this game, a lot. And there's things you're not going to want to do. There's some
Which
things...
game?
The industry, just period. Just this, whatever that may be, you know, there's so many different industries. So I'm just talking about mine specifically. There's so many, you know, things you don't want to do. There are things you just don't want to do, and things that, you know, so many people are... It's just part of the journey, right? It's just part of the journey. The fighting, you know, getting your songs heard, you know, even me releasing this project it's been years to get to this point. But I realized the simple shift in perspective changed the way I experienced the journey. Before, you know, I would be like, oh, I just have to get through this day. Now I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy every moment of this day and not kind of go through it blind. Because sometimes we just like, oh, I'm going through this day with a haze on, with blind. I just have to get it done. But why do you just have to get it done? Like, I don't have to get this thing over with. I can enjoy being in that situation or in that moment. Or, you know, I'm afraid of flying, right? I'm afraid of flying, but now I'm trying to still, even though I'm so fearful and I have to do it for work, right? I am still trying to romanticize the experience in my head. I think you can romanticize your life.
That's what a relationship is.
Yeah.
You know, because like people get, for example, you're scared of flying, but you have to do it for work. People are scared to get into relationships because, you know, maybe whatever reasons, but they have to do it for a family.
Right.
I don't know.
That's not my ideology.
Yeah, let me ask you. All right.
Yeah.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Aiyana-Lee.
Yes.
45. Where do you see yourself?
Hopefully, still fine. I'm kidding. Still fly, darling. No, I hope by that time I'm in a stable place, actually financially stable, having toured the world, done everything I wanted to do, write a book, do my music, release a bunch of albums, do tours. What else? I mean, maybe I'll have a kid or two, or a kid, probably one kid, child. I don't know if I can do more than one child.
Okay.
Maybe one child, and I don't necessarily see like a father or a husband or a white picket fence. I don't necessarily see that.
Damn.
I don't necessarily see that. If I have to bring up a child, but I've seen it done. My mom brought me up, and I turned out really nicely, I hope. So yeah, I know. I think the word family looks like so many different things. There are people who
Yeah.
are adopted. There are people who, you know, they've integrated in families that they weren't necessarily born into, you know, or, you know, whether that's a single mom, single father, single whatever that. Family looks like so many things, especially nowadays. There's such freedom to make and create however you want to and whatever environment works for you and healthiest for a child. So I think, you know, family these days isn't necessarily the white picket fence, husband, wife narrative with a little doggy running around. Oh, I'll take the dog though.
Doggy.
I will take the dog though. But I don't think it looks like a certain way, you know?
I think that the facts are.
Yes.
The
What
facts
are
are that's real poetic, right? And I get it. And I'm a product of a single parent myself, and I hope I turned out pretty fine. I'm doing pretty well for myself, right?
Period.
But I do know, you know what I'm saying? Like high five, you know what I'm saying? We lit, you know.
Man.
But I do know that the facts are. The odds are in the child's favor to be better when both parents are present, right?
See, I think that's bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that's a narrative that's so like society is just. Nah, I don't think.
So you're gonna tell me.
I'm way better
You're gonna
off.
tell me. You're
Yes.
gonna tell me. All right, this
Go
might
ahead,
get
go ahead.
personal.
Yes,
You're gonna
yes.
tell me. Obviously, you have a dad, right?
He's dead and tried to kill me 3 times.
Oh shit.
It's cool though.
My bad.
No, no, it's actually okay. Like seriously, I am so past it. I'm so past it. Wrote a song about it. Miserable on the project is actually about him. A lot of
Damn.
people think it's a lot of people think it's about a relationship, but it's about him. But yeah, no, and there's no hard. Yeah, there's no hard emotions. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I can just talk about it, right?
Yeah,
All
sure.
right, cool.
Absolutely.
So, all right. When was the last time? How old were you? Was the last time that you actually like kind of saw him?
I think kind of before he died, like maybe 13.
You were about
or
13.
So. And he threatened me with a gun. I think that was the last time I saw him.
Shit. Okay, so do you think that potentially a lot of that experiences could have shape-shift a lot of ways that you might view relationships today?
I don't think, weirdly enough, I don't think that's the one that shifted my perspective. I think the outside kind of friendships and other things I saw in life were that. I think that more so just made me realize things like that don't have to be held over my head for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Because I think so many people go through traumas and they think that they have to carry that with them for the rest of their life. And society kind of also puts that in your head of like, you are really messed up and you are gonna be. I think therapy's great. I think talking to whether that's your mom, your parent, or a friend, just talking through these emotions and experiences is so important in just getting that out there. For me, it was music. For me, I will write something and I will put it in a song, and that's how I purge my emotions. But again, just not having that experience hinder my life, no, it's not my fault.
You turned it around. Yeah, you turned it around and used it as positive motivation.
Yes,
which is great. It's something, and I think that a lot of people do that, which is the determining factor between the two. But I do think that if we had to choose, right?
I'd still choose this. That's the funny thing.
If we had to choose, it would be a little bit different.
I don't know if it would be. I think for me, I wouldn't be as strong or.
I agree. Listen, I agree on that. I agree.
And also,
like
even just with my single mom, because she was so strong and she's been through a revolution and taking bullets out of people's arms, and then not speaking a word of English, moving to England, being homeless, to then becoming a #1 17 times platinum songwriter. That inspired me so much that she did that all by herself. That it's like, to me, there's no excuses to really even to fail or to let experiences or trauma hold me over when she's been through a war.
See, and this is one thing that I struggle with, and I have a very similar story to you, and people know at the table that I talk about being raised on survival, which I can see that you probably were too, right? Based on what you told me.
Well, I mean, look, I think she went through those hardships, so I didn't have to. I'm gonna be very honest.
Yeah, but you still went through hardships yourself.
I did. I really did. Like later on, especially when I got to LA, we lost everything. But she really worked her butt off so I could be provided for and have a good childhood. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't have it any other way, because she made sure that I would be okay.
But I understand that, and this is what I'm hearing. You appreciate your journey so much because you look at it as the glass half full rather than half empty.
Totally.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in this world that will not be as strong as us. And it could be our children.
Right.
So even though you may have been able to do it and your mom may have been able to do it, that does not necessarily mean that your child could walk around without a father figure.
I think it's the way you raise them, because it's the same thing about saying like.
But yours is different. You got to think about it. Like, think about it for a second. When you're like, okay, cool. If you brought another child into this world without a parent, without the other parent, right? That other parent, let's just say you and them just don't work. I don't want to put like a crazy thing on it. Like, you have a very extreme one, right? So I don't want I don't know if I can match that. So let's just say like, you and the other parent doesn't work. The parent just decides not to be there, not to be present. Yours is a little bit different because I feel like, me personally, when somebody's trying to harm you, you really like, I would hope that you as a kid can find a way to get over that hump in your life and use it as positive motivation. But when you have that question mark, right, the question mark of why doesn't this work, that question mark of why isn't there?
Well, it's up to the parent to tell you why and show you the rights and the wrongs and just explain why, because I feel like in life people are like, that's wrong and that's right, but why is it that way, you know what I mean? And why does these things have to, again, I think we're educated in a sense to kind of make us feel like we should be crippled by these experiences forever. And when it doesn't, a lot of times, it should have an emotional effect to the point where you can't function. Yeah. I've had people be like, are you okay? Like, oh my God, like,
but like, I'm fine.
Okay? I truly can say that I'm fine. And I'm not saying that's everybody, right? Everyone's very different. And how they process things are very different. But I think having my mom and being able to talk to her and being open, which I think it's so important for people to talk, just let it out. I think that's just pivotal. And again, it's the way I think you raise your children as well. And I mean, there's so many same-sex marriages, and they raise children, and that's the same. To me, it's like that's a family. You know what I mean? Like, a family doesn't have to be a heterosexual couple. It doesn't have to be a guy and a girl. It can be two girls. It can be two guys. I have seen it. It's beautiful. I think in this world, just normalizing how the different shades of what a family can be.
Yeah. I mean, I was really speaking of father because I was just naturally thinking heterosexual, but I was really just, in a sense, right? Now that you brought that up, I'm just thinking about two parents.
Got you. Okay.
And when you have two parents, I know, the numbers is just, and I've watched a lot of people lose a lot of things because they weren't mentally strong enough to deal with the lack of.
Right.
And I feel like the odds are, it's a beautiful thing and listen, I'm not knocking nobody that makes it out, and I'm happy because I'm with you. We in the same group, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that, like for me, and look, I'll give you a personal, real ass experience. Sure. I have the girl that I initially got pregnant, that is the mother of my child, that I am with, is from Los Angeles, right? And at that point in time, while she was pregnant, me and her, I was not like, this wasn't what we were supposed to be doing, right. So I wasn't really signed up for any of it. But I was like, at the same time, I know, like, I've watched, like, for example, my sister, I'm perfectly fine. I'm doing great for my life. My sister went through a lot of hardships without both parents.
But see, you know what I think it is? Sorry, okay. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's cool.
But I think also it's like the chances, even with both parents, how many people are struggling with mental health, even with both parents, or have chaos because their parents are constantly fighting or in a toxic environment.
Well, I don't think that should be it either.
Like, but that's why I'm saying, I think the chances of you having a stable child that's completely perfect,
not perfect,
or like handling things, I think trauma it even comes with two parents. That's what I'm saying. I think it's like because I have so many people who are victim of just having two parents who fought all the time, or divorce, or things that people go through that are so hard. I think it comes with single parents and parents that are both there.
But this is the main thing, and I agree with you. The main core that I'm trying to convey is that, in my opinion, this is my opinion.
Sure, yeah.
A single parent and a bad couple is both detrimental.
Oh, 1,000%.
But like,
well, not the single parent. I don't agree with that.
I think a single parent is detrimental, but it's up to the kid to determine their life, their strengths, and that's when it's completely out of the parent's hands. So you can't teach strength. There's nothing that you can do in this world. There's no way you can teach strength.
I think you can show the
No way.
Want a man, so a man will not be able to teach you how to be a man. A woman will teach you how a woman wants a man.
But that's
correct.
No, that's
correct.
I disagree with that 100%.
No,
because there's many different reasons.
We're gonna agree to disagree on this one.
There's many different reasons on why that doesn't work, and we have a lot of. Let me touch on that in a second, right?
Sure.
But what I was trying to say is, initially, is when you have, see, the reason why I brought it up is because you said, I asked you by 40, 45, whatever number I did, where do you see yourself? And you saw yourself being a single parent.
Yeah, possibly.
Right? Possibly, right?
Or not even a parent. I mean, I might not even want a child.
If you had one, right?
Yeah, if I had one.
But there was no words and or ideology or mindset on having a significant other.
Yeah, I'm free of a certain perspective.
Gotcha, right?
Yeah.
And I don't knock that. But what I'm saying is the lack of relationships does not, and this is what I believe. You learn from your experiences and from your parents. So if you have two parents fighting in the same household every day, you could come up traumatized and not knowing how to deal with the relationship. If you have one single parent, you become less, and I am a victim of that as well, you become less caring of a relationship. You don't value a relationship the same.
I think it's the opposite. I think I value relationships so much that when I get in one, I want it to be right. And that's all it is. I want it to have boundaries. See, that's the thing. I think it's a different perspective and a different place you're taking it from. I think you're coming at it from more of I don't want relationships. I want the right relationship because I know my value. I think something that adds to my life. Again, I think if I was actually traumatized or
I don't think it's traumatized.
I know.
Like,
but if I was messed up from having a single parent or whatever,
I don't think you're messed up either.
But I'm just saying, right? I would be looking for a relationship right now. I would be trying to fill that hole within me and be like, oh my God, I got daddy issues. I need to get me a man and da-da-da. I'm like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. If a guy wants to come in my life, wine and dine me and treat me right,
so be it.
So be it. Add to my life, please. If not, it's like come correct or don't come at all.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
Here we go.
I get that, but that's not what I'm saying because what you're laughing, it's hilarious.
It's okay.
I'm waiting for you to finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
What I'm saying is, that's cool, and that sounds very poetic because guess what? Everybody would like the perfect real, right person. You would like it. I would like it. The world would like it. But
I don't know if that's the goal in life, though, for everyone. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it is. You know, I'll be honest. It's not the goal in life, and I don't think that it's not the goal in life for everybody. As I've been on 8 at the table, I realize some people don't care to actually be in a relationship, or forever.
Fair.
Right, and that's cool. I personally, I just think that when it comes to bringing a child involved, that's when the lines get blurred. Because it's not about you anymore. We
agree to disagree, child.
Yeah, it's just not about you anymore.
But that's my point. It's not about you anymore. So you have to raise the kid however it's healthy for you to raise that kid.
Or
whatever environment it's good for you. If you're in a relationship, right, with a guy, let me say I'm in a relationship with a guy, just for the kid, right, for the kid to have both parents. And I know mentally that's not right for me. And it's going to mess with me, and it's going to end up being fights. It's going to end up being me not able to be 100% on the kid because I'm focusing on two people actually, instead of just raising this kid and trying to be like two separate beliefs, two separate food, to me, in my world, right? Just in my perspective, that is confusing as hell. I don't even know how people are brought up by two parents. But that's the world I live in. That's how I am. And that's how I would raise a kid, just because I know how what's healthy for me.
Yeah.
I think everyone has to do what's healthy mentally for them to have the capability to raise that child. Because not everyone's environment is the same. Like, I might thrive being single, right? And then as soon as I get in a relationship, I might be the messiest, crippled, crazy person. So me right now having a relationship will probably be detrimental to my
I'm not
life.
saying right now, but what I'm saying is you keep saying you. And that's
because
cool.
I can only speak from my perspective.
No, I get that. I get that. But all I'm saying is understand that when a child comes involved, it's not always about you.
That's but that's the point. That's the point. You have to do what's right for the child. And what's right for me is gonna be right for the child.
And that's not true, because sometimes being single will kill that child's whole shit.
Why?
Like, because you gotta.
Wouldn't it be inspirational?
I mean, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Now let's be
go
realistic,
ahead.
right? How many people do you know have been brought up a certain way and they struggle from how they were brought up?
Yeah, a lot of people struggle.
Okay, so
yeah.
no. Listen to how I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Answer it. How many people do you know were brought up a certain way
Sure.
and struggle with how they were brought up today or for a long period of time of their life?
So many people struggle with, whether that's beliefs or whether that's with their sexuality or because of the ideologies of their parents. Yeah, 1,000%.
I don't want to go into the sex choice unless it has to deal with the parents. I would.
Yeah.
Because I want to stay on topic, but that does kind of stay on topic, right? So when we think about that, and you know how many people, I believe that you are one of the people who are able to be strong enough to tackle that hurdle.
But I don't think it's a hurdle to tackle.
What is
That's
it
the thing.
then?
That's my
obstacle?
point. There was no obstacle. I lived a great life. That's my point.
I didn't say you didn't.
No, I'm just saying, like, for me, it worked. For me, okay? And for me, I think, and again, I think the world's principles and putting rules on how someone's supposed to, it's the same thing like a doctor prescribing the same medicine to each person who comes in with different symptoms. It doesn't make sense to prescribe the same medicine to each person. And I see it done all the time. The same type in workplaces and in doctors and in schools. Not everybody learns the same way or at the same pace. I think it's so tailored for each person where if having a heterosexual, nice relationship is what you need to be able to bring up a kid, and that's what you want, if that's what you want, do it. Not for everybody. I had a guy who was raised by just his mother, and he is one of the manliest men I have ever
Sit next to him.
No.
You're sitting next to him. But what I'm saying is, out of all the people that I know, that's very few far in between.
But how many people raised by both parents are really messed up? Is the question.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. Both parents that had a healthy relationship is different than both parents that didn't.
But so okay.
All right, so we're just going to agree to disagree.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Totally.
All right. Well, this was great. I want to say thank you for flying out here and being with us. We definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me.
Anything that you want to tell the audience before we go?
Live your life. I'm kidding. I go to a musical. No, I saw Hamilton last night. I'm on a Hamilton, streak right now. No, I have a project out. It's called Wednesday's Child Side A, which means there's gonna be side B. But child, listen to the side A. We have songs on basically everything we talked about today. There is a song on the literally City Full of Rich Kids, My Father on Miserable, like Self-Love on Table for Three. There's so many, and Love You Later that talks literally about not being able to be in a relationship right now because of your career. So please check it out. Check me out on social media. Aiyana-Lee Official on Instagram. AIYANALEE Official. So yes, I hope to see you on there. DM me. Let's get it twisted, child.
And we'll see you next time.
hey,